some time, something that is really very, very influential for your day to kickstart your day with such knowledge and such insights regarding business. And it's very key when it comes to strategically planning for the day. For your business, if you're a CEO, if you're an entrepreneur, this is definitely the right spot for you there. But of course, all this is powered by Zabo, a platform from Alltex, which has made your trading experience much more easy. Of course, *292 hash is always the USSD code, and you'll be availed with quite lots of options. You can choose to buy government bonds and securities, any of your choice, for as little as 15,000. But you can choose to invest more than that, depending on what you feel like. But that's just the minimum requirement. *292 hash, and you'll be able to get those bonds with different maturity periods, 5 years, 10 years. Yes, and this can be done at any part of the country. You'll be at normal paperwork that is needed. All you need is your mobile phone and the USSD code right there. And life will be made much more easy and quite very impactful. There is no excuse as to why you shouldn't own government bonds and securities. It's very key and important, and reasons being that it's a way to earn yourself a side income. Zabo says my money, my future, and Alltex East Africa says do something new. Now, heading straight into our insights here, we see that the Justice Alliance met with the Committee of Finance to give their view, that is on the tax bill amendments, and of course inclusive in some of the discussions that were put out there, and it was regarding the bills, and of course some other propositions were taxes on gaming activities to be increased, and also foreign investors or investors should pay taxes instead of being heavily exempted. So it was quite a very interesting discussion, and now let's get into it. I'll be returning for further insights regarding that matter.
Basically seeks to introduce a tax on a betting activity, that is 20%, and also in a gaming activity, that is 30%, and of course there is also a requirement of filing returns for each activity. Now we have some observations we made. I'll start with Section 848, which refers us to Schedule 4. Section 48, just to paraphrase, it says that operators of casinos, gaming or betting are supposed to pay taxes. In addition to other taxes, are supposed to pay a gaming tax, and the rate is prescribed in Schedule 4. Now the challenge is the amendment, that the proposed amendment is talking about a betting tax and also a gaming tax. So we feel that there is some sort of a drafting issue there, because Section 48 strictly refers to a gaming tax. So we feel that is a drafting issue which could be resolved. Then another issue that we found out was on the issue of the amendment provides for a gaming stroke a betting activity. We are also a bit puzzled about the definition of a betting activity and a gaming activity. I think it will cause some sort of, when it comes to implementation or even compliance, it may be problematic. I mean, what is a gaming activity? What is a betting activity? Then there's also an issue with yes. Then maybe another thing I can talk about is the requirement of requiring the operators to file returns for each betting activity or a gaming activity. We realize that it could cause some sort of compliance costs, an increase in compliance. So to be fair, there was that thing that we felt that it may not be fair to the operators to require them to file each and every time. So I should say, Mr. Chair, that we were a bit, we divided on this, on especially our recommendations. Some sections were saying that the amendments, the proposed amendment should stand because, of course, gaming and betting, it is a moral hazard, it's a social hazard, which has destroyed the lives of so many people. But also, on the other hand, there is also a section which said that the amendments shouldn't stand because, first of all, from the reports of URA, the revenue performance reports from 2021 and 2022, there was an increase in the casino tax. There was an increase gained on casino tax, and it is about 24 UGX billion. And this was attributed to enhanced sector compliance. So which means that if URA is able to monitor compliance and ensure that these casinos or gaming houses are able to pay their taxes, we can have enough revenue. So the proponents said that basing on this statistic from URA and this increase from the previous financial year, the amendments shouldn't stand. But on the other hand, as I said, others proposed that it should stand and actually increase the gaming tax from the proposed 30% to 35%, because first of all, gaming and betting, they are not subject to VAT, but also since it's a moral hazard, to ensure that our citizenry are not really caught up in that web of gaming and betting. That would be it from for the Lotteries and Gaming Act.
Then that means that investors will be looking more at Section 27(1) AF that provides a 10-year tax holiday. But we've also noted previously that some of the investors that have been benefiting from this particular measure, especially those within manufacturing, are setting up warehouses and are not setting up industries or manufacturing plants that would provide employment opportunities for the rural population. So for us, we agree that this measure should be adopted as a means of reducing tax expenditure in Uganda. And this would mean that investors would rely solely on Section 27(1) AF, sorry, 2021 AF. The next is the amendment of Section 38 of the Principal Act, which looks to cap the carry forward of losses to 50% of the losses carried forward after 5 years. We note that currently the way the amendment is drafted is quite ambiguous, and it is quite unclear as to whether the losses should be carried forward for 5 consecutive years in order for the losses to be capped, or whether the period of 5 years of income in which some losses have been claimed would trigger its application. We also note that the existence of an alternative minimum tax is a regional norm. We've seen it in Tanzania, where they are imposing a 0.5% of turnover of the third year of perpetual unrelieved loss. In Kenya, they're imposing a minimum tax of 1% of gross turnover. And we also note that in 2019, a similar proposal had been put forward by Ministry of Finance seeking to tax losses for companies that had carried forward losses for 7 years, but this was rejected by Parliament, and there was also concerns raised in the minority report stating that some companies could genuinely be making losses, and that companies paying indirect, and that some of these companies are also paying indirect taxes such as VAT, and that a 0.5% tax on turnover would not be very favorable. And basing on this, the 2019 and the minority report, it looks like Parliament may not favorably look at this proposal. But we also note that the proposed amendment would make tax incentives under 21 AF more attractive to investors as a means of avoiding taxation. And further to note that this provision mainly is looking at the big businesses and does not seem to provide relief for the small businesses, which might actually be making some of these losses, putting into consideration the fact that the big businesses have the ability to do some sophisticated tax planning and creative accounting to cater to look like they're actually making some of these losses, and that we also hope that a provision separating the wheat of legitimate losses claimed from the chaff of book entry losses may be necessary for proper operationalization of this provision. So we recommend that the proposal is adopted, but it should be subject to the considerations of the potential risks and challenges highlighted.
Most cases, it's informed by the need to attract investment or stimulate investment, especially foreign direct investment. But in reality, it has many investors and private sector players who we have interfaced with expressly state that these tax exemptions and waivers are never the primary objective they base on to invest in an economy. So while it may have certain benefits it brings along, most of the people or most of the companies that invest here would still invest with or without those incentives that result into tax expenditure. So what we try to say is that we reduce this so that we make sure these companies that are being given waivers pay their fair share of the tax. Otherwise, we are seeing a situation where companies that have the potential to pay tax enjoy tax holidays, and in extreme cases even change name when the tax holiday ends and again apply for it, while individuals are paying VAT, are paying tax on everything, and are not enjoying some of these waivers. So we basically call upon you to look at tax expenditure in terms of the loss that the country makes due to these revenues being given away by allowing certain taxpayers not to pay the tax that they ought to pay. It's not a relief per se that money has not come in. It's actually money that has been lost, which would have been added to the national coffers. And when you look at it like that, that's when you notice the magnitude of the revenue loss. If at the moment you are collected 25 trillion, which is the target for this financial year, adding the trillions of shillings that we give away in tax waivers, we would be looking at a collection in excess of 35 trillion, which would improve our tax to GDP ratio. But with the
Well, that's the Tax Justice Alliance meeting with the Committee of Finance to give their view on tax bill amendments. And of course, some of them included the lottery amendment bill and also the fact that the investors, instead of being exempted from paying taxes, they should actually be paying these taxes. Well, it's 30 minutes past 9, and right now I'm joined with Hanifa and of course the brains behind that story in there. And probably we're going to be having a discussion in relation to that. A very good morning, Hanifa. Welcome once again.
Good
on
morning,
SMB.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me again.
Okay, it's a great pleasure. Now, I've had conversations there talking about, one of the breakers here was the aspect of investors paying taxes instead of being exemptions. Probably give us a picture and another revelation maybe which we weren't able to see since we weren't on scene probably regarding that.
Yeah, you see, these taxes were introduced by the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah.
There are over six taxes.
Six bills.
Yeah, six bills.
Yes.
We have the excise duty, the lottery gaming.
Lottery gaming, yeah.
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 Okay, in a bid to collect more revenue for the country, they proposed these taxes and they brought it before Parliament, which was sent to the Finance Committee to to discuss and
approve
because they are supposed to be brought back by 1st July.
Yeah.
Because they are supposed to be effected by 1st July.
In
the next financial year, of course, they are supposed to start in the next financial year. Yeah, and of course, stakeholders come in and give in their opinion
regarding that.
taxes.
I saw Siatin there.
Yes,
over that.
UMA and the tax justice or whatever. All stakeholders in the tax system.
Yes,
have to come in and put in their opinions on these taxes. The first team that came yesterday is is what really amazed me, because in all the UMA, the Uganda Manufacturers Association,
yeah.
Because when they brought in their opinions on the onto the committee,
yes,
they did not give the committee any other avenue of getting taxes. For them, they just advocated for cutting, you know, this reduced
that
excise
is very
duty.
inappropriate. Yeah,
Excise duty cut to 6%. This property tax. This one, you should just delete it. But you've not.
Yeah, what's the alternative? An alternative for that.
And you know the country has to collect taxes, and
that is definite
to run the economy. And all the proposals you're bringing on table, please reduce, cut, because we have been. The economy was affected by COVID-19 and the Russian-Ukrainian war. And the committee rejected all that, and they're like, Uma, you're not serious.
Okay.
At least these other guys, they brought in what they proposed in, their proposals were, of course, they were helping the committee to find means of collecting taxes for the country.
Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah, which was quite fair. But the UMA people, I think they should.
They didn't suggest alternatives.
Exactly.
And you know, it's quite very interesting. Now, the aspect of investors paying taxes instead of tax exemptions, I found that quite very interesting, because I believe it's one of the aspects that have drained our economy when it comes to, you know, returns from these investments. And these people, they use our resources, use the labor, and you know, they exempted from taxes, 10 years taxes, and actually sometimes they don't even complete the years, and they say they are bankrupt.
Yeah, the whole tax exemption system. Everyone has been crying out loud to government. Please review it.
Because we don't even see the benefits of it, like potential, like return.
We want investors, yes. We welcome them.
Yeah.
But look at a company like Bujagali. The government has been losing over 1.2 trillion shillings every year.
Every year.
All that money is lost. This company was given taxes exemptions. They are making money. They are making losses for the country. What is that? How do we benefit from that?
Exactly.
These tax exemptions should be reviewed, because according to Siatini, URA would be collecting over 30 trillion shillings.
Okay.
Because they say they are going to collect 25 trillion. Yeah, in this coming financial year. That is what they project. But they will be collecting over 30 something trillion shillings for the country. That is revenue bringing in. But we have tax exemptions, and where we are losing 20 trillion every year.
In tax exemption.
Exactly. We lose a lot of money in tax exemptions. First of all, these investors who are given these exemptions and waivers, how have they benefited? Do they even contribute to hospitals?
Yeah, that's a key aspect, because I feel like even the people that have been transforming lives of people are NGOs, actually. Coming in from other countries and doing that.
What are they doing? They need to tell us what they are doing. How many Ugandans are they employing in their companies? Ugandans are there. Ugandans are leaving this country, going out to whatever country, whatever continent, looking for work.
Yes.
These companies are here. There are many.
Absolutely.
They come in with their labor, with their labor force.
Labor force, yeah.
They're not contributing. Yes, they are, of course, development, whatever. But how are they helping Ugandans?
However much the development they put there is in terms of infrastructure, but we don't see value added on the lives, because what the core factor here is what value are you adding to a Ugandan's way of living?
Exactly. Ugandans, you know, Uganda is the youngest in terms of the population. We have the youngest population. There's so many Ugandans who are in between 14 to whatever. That is the working age.
Actually, taking a look at this in the top page, if you can take a look at the Daily Monitor here, it was showing you the state of unemployment in Uganda.
Exactly.
And you see that the unemployed are 12.2 million,
I'm telling you.
and the employed 10 million. And these are rough estimates. They are more than that.
Exactly, exactly. All these Ugandans are out there. They don't have jobs. These are our young girls. When you go to Entebbe, and every day we see many young girls living this country. These are girls of 12 years. I was very shocked. There are girls of 13, 14 living this country. But if these companies or if this money that has been exempted from these companies, if this money was put to something that could benefit our young population,
the young population,
exactly, would benefit from it.
Yeah.
But we are not. We are not. So, government, I'm calling up upon government to review this whole tax exemption thing. It is not that these investors will leave the country.
We need them, of course.
Yes, we need them.
But on fair grounds.
But they are getting money from us, first of all, and they take this money back to their countries.
They repatriate it back.
They don't invest that money here. They take it back to their countries. How are we benefiting? Where is the value for money?
The value for money.
Exactly. How benefit as a Ugandan? How are you benefiting from this? If the money is taken out of the country, and here without even a minimum
wage bill.
Exactly. This minimum wage bill has failed to take. I don't know. The president has refused to sign this bill. This bill was already passed by Parliament. No one is advocating for this bill. Where is this bill? This bill is going to help all Ugandans. Many of the our neighboring countries, they have this bill.
Yes,
this bill is in place.
Kenya is one of them.
Ugandans working in Chinese industries, they are being exploited. These guys are given 3K a day, 1,000 shillings. That's
unfair, and that somebody works 24 hours.
Exactly. How is that 5,000 going to help you with this economy, with the inflation we are? The inflation is still, it is not going anywhere. It is still here.
It is still here, true. That is absolutely
true. Sugar is
true.
expensive, soap is expensive, 5,000 a day with the poor working...
absolutely agree.
Exactly, with poor working conditions that our people. May I pass? There's a factory I passed there around Kawempe. I see how they check these. They're young girls, women, trying, waking up very early in the morning at 6, going to work. They are checked thoroughly. They don't even trust them that they are going to steal from the company.
How are they going to steal from
at the end of the day, and you work for how long? Those hours that Ugandans work for, and you're given 5,000. Really, 5,000. Just you spend it in just transport.
Exactly.
Our transport system is very poor. It's very expensive. Our transport alone, the money that you paid alone, you just spend it in transport.
Absolutely true.
Exactly. So government needs to review this tax exemption and help our people. Exactly. But Ugandans pay taxes. You may find that it is these small SMEs,
yes,
and these retailers, these
exactly.
Those people pay more taxes than these big companies.
Very true.
Yeah, it was revealed. They even know that these big companies don't pay. In fact, they collect taxes from us Ugandans. We are the ones who pay. You buy airtime, you're paying that company.
Yes, indirect
and in the end, those companies don't want to pay taxes to government. What is that? They're the ones who come and say, you see, these taxes are too much. You see, you cut, you reduce this. At the end of the day, who is going to have that burden of these taxes? It is us Ugandans who pay.
Definitely, it's we us.
Now, yesterday they were proposing to remove the taxes on Pampers, diapers, baby diapers, because what URA suggested is that. Baby diapers, the tax remains, but all the adult diapers, that is the tax that they have removed.
The tax they have removed, okay.
And most of the stakeholders who came, I understand. Here, I support them actually. If you're removing the taxes on the adult diapers, why are you retaining this one for the baby diapers? Okay. You know how many young girls give birth
on a daily basis, and they can't really afford.
They can't afford.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
We have men who have abandoned those
ladies that have given
exactly.
birth young. And
exactly.
Young.
This tax. It is this woman, these single women who are going to wake up, you look for money, they're the ones going to pay this tax.
The taxes, tax. Absolutely true.
Exactly. If you're removing the tax for the elderly, yes, we understand some old people in hospitals, they need those diapers. But what about the young girls?
The young girls, the teenage pregnancies
is on the increase here in Uganda.
Yeah.
Uganda has a young population. Not all those girls are employed. Not all those girls are catered for by their partners. We need to look at all those things, and we help out Ugandans. The Ugandans do pay taxes, and it is very important for us to pay taxes, of course, to sustain
the nation.
Exactly, our economy. But then we need to look at these companies that are not paying taxes.
It should be a win-win situation for every person, for every individual.
It should be a win-win situation.
Okay.
And we should look at the wages that are being paid to Ugandans who are working in those companies. And are they employed anyway?
Okay.
How many Ugandans are there, and what is their wage?
That is their wage. Exactly. That's a very key question in here. Well, I'm here with Hanifa discussing, of course, the different bills which were discussed by different stakeholders, trying to be checked in to see how applicable they are, because some of them have an implication on humanity in Uganda most especially. And remember, as much as we want to develop the economy, it's very important. It's like being healthy. You can make money at the same time. If you destroy your health at the expense of making money, it's useless. So the individuals that need to develop this economy need to be having a healthy working economy, a healthy working situation. And this will enable them to be able to consistently provide taxes. And trust me, the Uganda Revenue Authority will never have shortfalls. Well, 27 minutes past 9. Smart means business on your daily kickstarter. Here as we bring you the latest information. Very, very important for key decision making. But of course, don't forget the markets on the Zabo platform, which have already opened. They open at 8:15 a.m. and they'll be closing at 3:15 p.m. Zabo is a platform from Alltex, which has made your trading experience much more easy and friendly. *92# is the USSD code that will avail you with quite lots of options. You can choose to buy government bonds and securities for as little as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. But you can invest more. That's just the minimum requirement. But you can actually capitalize and make some huge profits. The markets are open Monday to Friday, except on the public holidays and the weekends when you can't access these markets. But you have the rest of the 5 days to capitalize and make quite some huge profits in there for you. Zabo just made this a reality. It says my money, my future. And Alltex East Africa says do something new. Now 28 minutes past 9, and now we're going to get into a short commercial break. And coming up will be our on-ground discussions. And this time around, we shall be dwelling into alternative investments. Let's get into the break. More of these discussions will be coming up.